Hello, neighbor. What's up? This is Novels and Bits podcast, and I am your host, Chizoba Katie. In today's episode, we'll be continuing where we left off in the last one. So, where we left off in the last episode, Scarlett went to this qualifying event that if she passes, she will go on to the World Championships. So, it's a long shot because she has three strong contenders, but somehow all of them end up pulling out one reason or the other, injury, family issue, this is that. Luckily she qualifies, and then she runs into someone that she's met before. The person is also in the diving world, a girl called Carissa, and the person is like, oh, you are in the same diving team as Pen, be careful. Oh, that girl is not to be trusted. That's Penelope. That is Lukas's ex and Scarlett's friend and diving captain. Scarlett dismisses what she just said because ever since she's known Pen, Pen has been nothing other than extremely kind to her. Do you understand? But then there's a question where someone tells you, this person was universally hated, oh, be careful. Usually there is always a kernel of truth in such situations. You get. Anyhow, Scarlett is enjoying herself at this sporting event, recalling why she loves diving in the first place. If you know the hell our girl has been through, that is, you must have listened to at least the past one episode or two episodes to understand the hell Scarlett has been through before she came to this place of just enjoying diving, not seeing it as something attached to identity or you do or die affair. And now together with Pen, they come face to face again with Carissa. That same Carissa that won Scarlett earlier on. And Carissa's friend Natalie. They are ice cold to Pen. After, Pen feels like out of sorts. And the person normally to help with this type of things is Lukas. Lukas being her ex of 7 years and all. So Pen now uses Scarlett's phone to call Lukas. But Lukas doesn't answer. So when they now check the time, they're like, oh, he's in the middle of his competition, wherever he is. Scarlett now tells Pen, hey, you can talk to me, right? So Scarlett also admits to Pen, hey, Carissa actually warned me concerning you, but I a bit dismissed it, of course. There's just facts in Scarlett's tone, no suspicion. So the thing makes Pen now embrace Scarlett as far, oh, thank you for not, believing the worst of me. So Pen now shares her own side of the story. Yes, she used to be in a diving club together. Now, Carissa's mom was a director there. Anyhow, some things changed right around when they were 14. The kids became mean and competitive. Then Carissa's mom got verbally abusive to everybody. Pen reported, but everyone somehow covered it up, making Pen appear dramatic. So that's when it got miserable. She's now telling Scarlett the bullying, the things they said behind my back to my face. I wanted to find another club, but I was nowhere with a reasonable commute. Her parents didn't care. Yes, Pen has parents that don't care about her. It's part of why she was so into that relationship thing with Lukas. It gave her an identity, and she's such a sunny, sunshine person, but you don't know that she's coming from a background where she's uncared for. It's actually heartbreaking. Pen and Carissa were in the same high school, not just diving club. So Carissa's spread rumors about her, turned her friends against her. It's out of character for Scarlett, but when she hears these things, she's like, I will hiss in Carissa's face if she makes a wrong move. Pen looks at her, you hiss. Scarlett, who is a very sciencey biology person, about his sense, she now says, it's a very effective defensive behavior within the animal kingdom. The point is, I'm on your side. I hate bullying and people who intimidate others. I've always been on the fringe of everything. You made me feel welcome from the start. I trust you and you can trust me, period. All right. Around then, Lukas calls back. It's a video call. He looks worried, surprised, pleased, like, oh, wow. That's Scarlett actually reached out to me. He's like, okay, is something wrong? Surprised, like she did. And then he's pleased, like, okay, those things. He now asks her, you okay? Scarlett now turns the phone to Pen. Pen now assures him she's fine now, that she had an issue, but Vandy, remember, everybody but Lukas calls Scarlett Vandy. Vandy is short from her surname, Vandermeer. You get? So Vandy already helped her through it because she's an amazing friend and I don't deserve her. That's what Pen says. Scarlett is eating this up like, oof, okay, I have a girlfriend. So Scarlett now says, that's nice of you to say because I live in fear of you saying through my daily charades and realizing that I'm so numbingly boring. Dentists inject me into gums before root canals. This is Scarlett making a joke. Both Lukas and Pen say at the same time, what? You're not boring at all. Whoa, okay, guys, calm down. Now, this is 5 more days for the Winter Nationals. There are highs and lows. Neither Pen nor Scarlett qualify for the Springboard World Championship. Now, Lukas now tests Scarlett, asking her, is everything okay? So Scarlett now replies, yes, Pen's doing much better. We're about to start some synchro preliminary. So Lukas now says, and? Scarlett now texts back, would you like a picture of the dive sheet? So Lukas now finally gives up and now asks her, how are you, Scarlett? Oh my god, she's so clueless. She's actually texting her. It's not if she's fine. But Scarlett, because of the okay, we're not like into an actual relationship thing, she's thinking he's only contacting her to find out how Pen is doing. Oh my god, this is really that awkward girly. Scarlett now blushes and she now texts him back fine with a question mark. So Lukas now says, is that a question or an answer? She's like, not sure. He now asks her to think it through. Now the second day, Scarlett happens to get an A in German. That German that was so hard at first. When she now tells Lukas about it, like, oh my god, I am killing this languages thing. Also, he's not able to state that Scarlett actually got help for that German. The person in charge of the German thing started like, making extra time to teach her and guide her through it. It's not like, oh, she automatically picked up on it. Please, no, there was a process that I did not mention because this is a summary-ish. Okay? When she now tells Lukas about how she got an A in German, he's now like, Sweden is next. Oh my god, that's giving like, babe, you're learning my language next. Oh god. Anyhow, let's keep going. Now, this is a day to synchro finals. They run into Carissa and Natalie. Scarlett is clear that they're not allowed to be rude to Pen. So after Pen points out the similarities between Lukas and Scarlett, Pen is now saying, you're both reserved. You get intense about the people you care about. You're single-minded, you have a solid core of strength and self-confidence. You hide your sense of humor from most people, but you're hilarious. And of course, you're both into... So Scarlett now chips in because she's like feeling uncomfortable about the praises. So she has to make it, weird. And now says, kinky BDSM and stuff. Pen now says, I was going to say science-y stuff, but that too. Scarlett now tells Pen, I'm not confident at all. Up until 2 months ago, I could barely dive. Pen now replies, confidence is not about being able to do things, Vandy. Confidence is showing up and trying and not giving up because deep in your heart, you know who you are and what you're capable of. I really like this so much and that I even kind of put a text there, like taking notes somebody. So confidence is about you showing up, you're trying, you're not giving up because you know who you are, you know what you're capable of, you're stretching your capacity. So that's confidence. So now one of the twins pulls out because her back hurts bad. It's been hurting, but she can't manage anymore. So now Vandy is off for the 3-meter dives. That is Scarlett. She's Vandy. She's contending with 3 strong people. She'll be doing a dive called arm stand double 1.5, and she eats it up. She does so well. I had to look it up and many dives with it. They're brilliant. But again, I'm saying this thing, someone with fear of heights cannot do diving. Even if you're not scared of heights, the drop is scary. You'll be thinking, what if I dive too hard into that pool and knock my... it's not funny. Now, Scarlett's score is really high, and one of the other contenders messes up too. So, Scarlett is now in spot number 2. She is definitely going to World Championships. The whole team qualifies for Olympic trials though. Scarlett is a bit of a celeb, and she's sort of getting swarmed, okay? 2 hours after landing back at her place in school, now they return back to school, from where they went to, 2 hours after landing back. She's dressed to go to bed, but Lukas shows up with food. And he gives her the eyes though. I have no idea how a hookup is supposed to look like. But if it's anything, like how he feeds her, cares for her, washes dishes with her, and then they fall asleep together like an old couple, it doesn't sound like that's how a hookup is supposed to be. People are not caring during a typical hookup. It inserts too many doubts. However, it's just so obvious from the pages how deeply he cares. Like imagine somebody showing up to feed you because he knows you will not have food. Showing up to just like take care of you after you came back from this highly competitive thing. Not like he too has been competing. No. You understand? I love it. There is a part where Lukas is talking to Scarlett and he now says something. I always respected divers but never found real pleasure in watching them until here. And mine goes to, well, but he dated a diver. How is it now me? That kind of thing. For the first time, though, it occurs to Scarlett that Lukas and Pen might have gotten together out of necessity at the time you get, than out of romantic love. Out of necessity, meaning that Pen needed someone to have her back. Same as Lukas at the time when he was struggling with swimming. So, but she doesn't pursue that thought because she's like, I don't want to be giving myself hope. It's not like me and him started on the best basis either. Scarlett is also the first person that Lukas informs quietly that Emory offered him a full merit scholarship for med school. Now, the next day, they are meeting for the project at the library, and she happens to get there 10 minutes early. He finds her, and then they end up getting a little naughty in the single bathroom. Now, he now tells her the words, "You're so adorable, makes me want to wreck you." Now, these words are popular on Book Talk. If you see promotions of Depend, like people just kind of like that. Like, oh, you're so adorable. Makes me want to wreck you. Like, now that TA person who they work with on that in the lab, he still keeps hating on Scarlett. Because he even tells her, hit me up if you want to get coffee. You still have my number, right? Now, after the study, they are done with the study group, what they came for. The bathroom naughtiness resumed because it wasn't concluded that first time. Apparently, according to Lukas, he's turned on whenever Scarlett shows her hand of being smarter than him. He now calls her my brilliant, beautiful girl. I think in the first part of this story, when I promoted it, I wrote that this guy, just her being smarter than him is a turn on for him. He just likes it. Like, oh, you're so smart. You're smarter than me. Because he's like usually the smartest person in the room. And now she's beaten him just not much, but still something. Now for Christmas, Scarlett returns home and it's a lazy Christmas with Bab. That's her stepmom who's a doctor. And Bab, thankfully, she's off duty and with her pet dog. Scarlett sends Lukas pictures of her and Bab cozying around. And they have this text banter based on research she's been doing on Sweden culture. He gives her a yearly premium subscription to Duolingo. Duolingo is a very popular app. Right now, I see everybody posting their streaks on Duolingo on their WhatsApp status, like 800 days going strong, da 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 da. And I'm like, yo. Funny thing is, I did not notice Duolingo until I saw it in this book. Then I started seeing it everywhere. Honestly. Now, Lukas must not know her middle name. That's what she thinks. Because when he signed her up to Duolingo, he signed it up with Scarlett Troll van der Meer. He is perfectly aware that her middle name is Ander. Scarlett Ann van der Meer. Now, she doesn't contact him for a while, but then he too starts sending daily pictures. Sometimes they talk about it, sometimes they talk. It's easy to be brutally honest with him because of the kind of relationship they have. You know, the kind of sexual relationship they have is based on honesty, based on, okay, these are our preferences. So it makes it easier to come to other aspects of their life with that same honesty, according to them. Do you understand? And it's weird because aren't they in a physical relationship where they're supposed to be like sexting, exchanging nudes? Nah, instead they're just like sending each other perfect PG-13 stuff. They're just sending cute texts and behaving like an old couple. And it's really cute. Now, Scarlett runs into her ex, Josh, because, you know, they all grew up in the same town and stuff, and she's around for Christmas now. And he has the guts to act like he cares about her. He knew she was injured. He never reached out. The timing he broke up with her was awful. And she now sets him straight that we are no friends. We can never be. What you did was wrong. Too bad we don't see any more karma come to him. But this is part of the reasons, like I said, I appreciate some romance books I've been reading recently. It doesn't just go into romance. It goes into building those characters. We see them grow as people. And also, you don't see karma happen. You just see these ladies progress beyond what those men have done to them and still live their best lives. Whatever happens to those men is none of their business. They're not looking at, has karma happened? That's not maturity. You get past that, okay? Now, in one of her fun text conversations with Lukas, that is in Scarlett and Lukas talking, he invites her to Sweden because he keeps showing her diving videos to everyone. He talks about how amazing she is. So people are like, you know, people around him are like, oh, we want to meet her. We want to meet this girl you keep talking about. Jan, the brother that has met Scarlett now, Lukas' elder brother, has also been talking about Scarlett to everybody. So, and Lukas doesn't want to stop Jan because he likes watching her dive. Like, Lukas loves watching Scarlett dive. Scarlett now says, I think Jan thinks we're dating. You have to set the record straight. Lukas now texts back, or maybe we should just start dating. Why correct him when we can just make it real, you know? She's just like, should I answer? I don't know if to answer. I think she leaves it hanging. So he invites her to come to Sweden after the Olympic trials. So that's 3 months away from when they're talking. Now, in January, he's accepted to Stanford Medical School. Stanford is where they're currently doing their first 4 years undergrad. So this same Stanford accepts him. But do you know when this guy informs her? They're actually in the middle. Like, you and someone are being intimate. You're in the middle of, let's say, making out. And then the person now says, oh yeah, I got accepted into Stanford. You're like, are you just telling me when we're like in the middle of, you didn't, oh wait. That's how he actually broke the news. And what actually happened is that because of the so many gaps in between, both of them are traveling for this meet, that meet. And like I said, they're traveling different places. They're not traveling together. So whenever they have time to steal away, it's rare. So it's the end of January, and under another uni has visited their own for a meet. So Carl ends up hosting a party at their house. And when Lukas sees her, both of them don't even talk about it. They just hold hands and go up to his room. Whether people are seeing them or not, they screw that. Now, in the middle of them getting down, he now tells her about getting accepted to Stanford Medical School. He also says, I'm tired of this distance from you, knowing that you exist, but I can't touch you, kiss you, and be with you. You get it, right? So Scarlett now answers, sometimes I'm afraid that this is the best thing I'll ever have for the rest of my life. He now sighs and he now mutters something really sweet in Swedish. Now, the following morning, she wakes up in his bed alone. She now goes downstairs because she wants to sneak out, just in case. But the boys are cleaning up. Lukas is there cleaning up with them. Because in as much as they already signed the documents before Kyle threw this party at his, at the house. Kyle is Lukas's housemate. And Lukas, being the clean freak he is, they already signed something. Lukas is still not content that they'll clean this house enough. So he's joining them to clean the house. So she now overhears a conversation about her. Hassan is now telling Lukas, I thought Scarlett was off limits. Lukas now answers, yes, to you. And it sounds like a threat the way he says it. Then Hassan now asks Lukas, does Pen know? He answers him, yes. So you don't have to lie to her if she asks anything about it. Carl goes off on how Vandy, that is Scarlett, has cute dimples, a cute gap tits, and somehow, in as much as they are saying nice things about it, right? Scarlett still feels self-conscious because she wore braces for a long time to get rid of the gap tooth. But the gap tooth did not close, so she still has a gap tooth. And these guys are thinking it's cute, all right? And Lucas just asked him, don't complete the rest of what you're trying to say about Scarlett. Don't say the rest, okay? Now she enters. So she thinking, okay, this is the best time to enter before they start saying something else. So Scarlett now enters the kitchen as non-casually as possible, only for Lucas to walk up to her and he kisses her thoroughly, publicly. She feels Kyle and Hassan turn away to give them privacy. He now offers to walk her home. She says, nah, she'll be fine. She actually just needs the time to herself. She's an introvert, so she just kind of needs to walk and think. Team USA meets at Houston before the World Championships, and Scarlett gets the cold shoulder from the diving team, courtesy of Carissa and her friends. So Scarlett actually thinks the coach is in on it too, on giving the coach shoulder, until the coach lady calls Scarlett after training, shows her the videos she took of Scarlett diving, practice diving. So the coach now gives her corrections and tells her how she always thought Scarlett is going to be great. Now at World Championships in Amsterdam, Scarlett, she just avoids Team USA, but somehow she finds Lukas with the Sweden team. They're all tall. The entire Swedish team, they're all very tall as Lukas, and all of them are seemingly friendly. One of them thinks she's Pen with a different hair color. Pen has red hair, while Scarlett is dark haired. You get, and I've said it before, Scarlett and Pen have similar physical structure. They look the same from the back. There were a few instances there at the World Championships where some people really mistook Scarlett for Pen. And that remarkable one is that one day after Scarlett and Lukas had gone sightseeing around Amsterdam, they tried foods, they hung around. They're in different cities. So it was like going on a real date. It was so fun, right? So now they're coming back to the hotel where they're staying at. And then they run into this Australian swimmer. Before the Australian swimmer can even make that assumption that she's not Pen, Scarlett blots it out, I'm not Pen. But then the guy now says, I know, because I know Pen well. And there's a tone he says that makes Scarlett think, He says it as though he and Pen have been jamming bodies. And it's now making Scarlett wonder which time, because Pen has been with Lukas this whole time, right? You get. Anyhow, at this point, when I'm reading this book, I'm thinking World Championships is definitely different from Olympics. I think I confirmed that, but I'll double confirm it. So you see that in the promotions of this episode. Now, when they are in the room, Lukas asks Scarlett to help with his back. So apparently swimmers shave before the big competition, as the absence of body hair and dead skin cells can apparently snip a few hundredths of a second of a race. So essentially, the whole point of shaving thoroughly is it makes them faster in water, even if it's by a millisecond. Removes all being smooth skinned, helps them swim faster. Scarlett now replies, seriously, I'll make you as smooth as a 19th century brothel satin sheets. Lukas replies, graphic. She now says, King will make me a knight of the Swedish Empire. Lukas now says, I've corrected you severally that Swedish does not have, we're not ruled by a monarchy. We have a prime minister. Even though she does not care, she still likes saying the Swedish king will make me this. Oh, she always likes making that Swedish king reference. She now tells him that before I shave you, you have to go shower first. Open up those pores. I honestly love their interactions. I wasn't able to capture a lot of them, but their interactions are fun because she's someone who exaggerates a lot. Maybe she's talking about like, yeah, in a million years, I'm not going to be able to. He now says, a million years. She now says, come on, you know what I mean? Like maybe in 5 years or so, or even in ever. You know, he's like, okay. He's someone who deals more with facts. Give me facts. Don't exaggerate much. But he's used to her like always using a hyperbole when she's expressing herself. So it's now during this shaving section, like while she's shaving him of the hair, that she now broaches that question, that vibe she picked up from the Australian swimmer. So she now says, this guy seemed so familiar with Pen. Lukas now opens up to her and says that, you know, because their sex life was struggling, his sex life with Pen. So in their relationship, there was a history of threesomes to help their not so great life. So Pen normally brought the people. Most of those people that Pen brought were male, although she occasionally brought females too. So through the whole interaction of having threesomes with both male or female, it solidified to Lukas that he's straighter than straight, that he doesn't have any inkling towards bi or something. Now Scarlett is trying to wrap her head around this whole thing. Like, yo, people just have threesomes. You know, because that's not Scarlett. That's not what she's operating at. Even me, when I was reading this part of the book, I was jaw-dropped because I'm like, they're what, 21? So when did they start doing this thing? 18 or when? You know, as much as it was Pen who normally brought the people that they did this stuff with. Lukas, at one point, he asked for Scarlett. Like, hey, can we have Scarlett in the bedroom with us? The reason was that, obviously, Scarlett is beautiful, she's attractive, and she was so quiet that he felt there has to be something underneath this girl who is too quiet. Maybe there's some passion, that there has to be a fire, a passion beneath her too quiet exterior, okay? However, Pen could not ask Scarlett because Scarlett was dating her boyfriend at the time. Scarlett now tells him in real time, I can never shadow. Like, I would never be open for threesomes. In fact, in the list that they exchanged, threesomes was part of their options. Neither of them clicked it, ticked it as something they were both into exploring. And Scarlett, she feels like, yo, both of you are free, I guess. Both of you are free to even try something like that. Now, this is me talking right now. I can't wrap my head around casual sex ever. Now, earlier, Victoria was telling Pen how it's true Lukas has been her all in all and first. I assumed that both of them have only ever been with each other since from 14 on to 21. Apparently, I'm wrong. They've invited people. The thing that Lukas committed to that, if Pen did not break up with him, he would still commit to threesomes for how long? And it's funny because in his relationship with Scarlett, he's not into it at all. It's not even a possibility in his mind. And funny thing is that Australian swimmer was even suggesting to Lukas, when Scarlett didn't get it, if he's sure, like he doesn't want to be invited to do Scarlett. And Lukas is like, no, I'm really sure I don't want to. Mm-mm. Oh my God, I would feel like ground should open up and swallow me. Anyhow, let's continue now that I've riffed. Now, the World Championships is not going well for the USA team. Many of them, including Scarlett, are hardly doing okay. In fact, after one of those events, she goes up to Lukas's room to rant, and he notices her back and thighs are red from when she smacked against the hard surfaces of the board. He now orders her to take off her clothes and lie on her back, and then he now started applying ointment on it so that the red does not blossom into swelling and those states. And this is something she could have done. She had the ointment and co, but she wanted to punish herself for not doing well. She's angry about her mistakes. Now encourages her to use that as fuel. She now tells him, easy for you when you have 45 gold medals, med school acceptance, and fan camps. Like you have it all going. So it's easy for you to tell me, use your anger as fuel. He now explains to her, see, I tried training backstroke and longer butterfly distances and never qualified. I had to come to the US for college because the Karolinska Institute did not accept me. That is a Swedish institute for the swimming. They did not even accept me. I tried building a neural network and the accuracy was abysmal compared to yours. And as you know, my girlfriend of 7 years broke up with me because of how not fun I am. So he's trying to tell us, look, I have failures too, no matter what you think, okay? Scarlett now points out, but both of us have fun, even when we're not doing, stuff. We have fun. Like both of us can hang out without doing any sexual thing. Later, they sit on the balcony, they admire the skyline. She knows his favorite stroke is the free stroke. They talk and she admits, sometimes I think that it would be nice if you and I ended up in med school together. He's not quiet. She now says, we'll make a good team for study groups and stuff. But she is wondering if Pen would be okay with the involvement of their relationship because they're getting to this place where it's becoming deeper. It's more intimate than taking off clothes, right? But she's thinking to herself, Pen should be okay with our relationship evolving because she is happy with someone, right? Right? Regardless, in the present though, with Lukas and Scarlett talking, he jokes that all you want from me is tutorship. I'll be ahead of you by a year now, so you just want tutorship from me. Then she now asks him, but why didn't you defer this year? Pen said you deferred this year. He said he has no plans to, that this is his last Olympics. He's not interested in making being a swimmer his identity. So his plan right now, he wants to spend 4 years in med school, fully knowing it's going to be hell. Do a fellowship and a residency. The cop stuff, sure, the cadaver and everything. He wants to travel to places that doesn't have a pool. He wants to see his family more than once a year, sleep in. He wants to go on hiking trips, stay home for long weekends, and have morally bankrupt amounts of sex with someone he's in love with. Kinky, vanilla, he wants it all. He wants to adopt rescue animals with her. He wants to take care of her, watch her be cold in Sweden, and marvel every day at how much smarter than me she is. So as he's talking, Scarlett is crying because she's in his plans. When he asks her, why are you crying? She's like, I don't know. He hugs her like he's never letting go. So next up is the Olympic trials. Coach May, that is the same coach that's been helping Scarlett, and now points out to Scarlett that, see, your body is different since your injury. Focus on consistency, not on flexibility. So now in the Olympic trials, I think Lukas won 3 gold medals, 1 silver, and 2 bronze. It makes him more recognizable. That is, more press is on his matter now. Now, for the return trip, although Scarlett bought economy ticket, she finds herself seated next to Lukas for the return trip on business class. Now, they've been together. The whole of the time that they were at Amsterdam was 10 days, and they were together. I don't think she ever even slept in her room. She was with him throughout. He now invites her to stay over still at his place once they land. However, there's a surprise welcome party waiting for him, and Pen is in the midst of it. If anyone thinks it's weird that he came straight to his house with Scarlett, nobody mentions it. And at this time, Scarlett is so sleepy. She's so jet-lagged. She can barely keep her eyes open. Eventually, she sits between his legs at the edge of his bed when Pen comes in to speak with him alone. Scarlett still doesn't feel right with him whenever Pen is around. He holds her fast though and gives her eyes like, stay, don't go anywhere. She just nods okay. But when she steps outside, she calls Uber. When she's now texting, she's trying to text Lukas, that is, so you have left too. There was a time Lukas took her phone, Scarlett's phone, and it's like, why did you save me as Lukas Penelope? Before they started the arrangements and everything, now that time he came to help her out and she got his number for the first time. She saved him as Lukas, like, to identify that, okay, Lukas is Penelope's boyfriend. And she hasn't changed that number since, the way she says that number since then. She left it at Lukas Penelope. But he personally changed it to Lukas Scarlett as per, I am Lukas, who belongs to Scarlett, not I don't belong to Penelope. So she sees it there on her phone and it's adorable. Definitely, I know it takes some time to get off that insecurity that, oh, okay, this person was dating my best friend. But I do agree with people who are angry about how Scarlett is so hung up on Pen. Like, why would Pen care? You got the guy. Pen already broke up with him. Anything you do with him going forward is none of Pen's friggin' business. Do you understand? She broke up with him. So I don't know what I don't know if it's maybe a girl code or something. But Pen was the person that asked people to get together. I understand. But does not mean I should understand. Girl. An hour after Scarlett gets home, Lukas shows up at her door, and without a word, she takes his hand and they go to bed. Now, she learns from Pen the next day that hot teacher Theo broke up with her, said that Pen is too young for him. So Pen had to tell Lukas what happened now, with Lukas being her best friend and all. So Lukas merely said, it is lost, you will get someone here. So Scarlett considers pointing out to Pen that, see, the relationship you had with Lukas was founded on shared trauma. You helped when he lost his mom, and he helped you with Carissa. But she thinks to herself, that might be me overstepping. Then Penelope now makes a statement that people build a future even if they bonded over trauma, that is more valid than sharing the same sexual fetishes. And the way Pen says it, it's bitter almost. You get, and the thing has cut it like, yo, where is this Pen coming from? You understand? So Pen apologizes when she realizes how it sounds. She's hurting, right? So Scarlett is like, okay, this girl just went through a breakup. Let me just understand. She would not say that normally, right? Now, Pen is also wondering, did I also make a mistake by breaking up with Lukas? Imagine she's telling that to Scarlett. So she confirms that Scarlett and him aren't officially dating. I don't even know why Scarlett gave that information to Pen. Pen is not part of your relationship. You and Lukas have a thing. Sort it out between yourselves. Scarlett, you have a thing with, look, this girl was his ex. They're not together. He's not planning on being together. If you doubt that, you can ask him, okay? But Scarlett knows in her heart that even if her and Lukas have not made things official, they have something real. But she still does not say any of this to Pen because her friend is upset and now isn't the time. Instead, what Scarlett does is focus on her diving, right? She approaches her coach to make changes to her program. Less flexibility, more consistency. That's going by the advice that Coach May from the Olympics gave her now. Now with her therapist, Pen's name has been coming up a lot. You know, each time Scarlett meets with her therapist. Scarlett has been avoiding Lukas while Pen is in her healing phase. She just tells herself it's just for a short while. Now, one day Lukas comes to her house to hear what's going on because he's not buying all the excuses. So he is even angry at Pen and her delusions that they might get back together, right? So Scarlett now suggests, well, could we just maybe keep our relationship physical for the time being? But it's really hard trying to do that because both of them have gotten to that point where they are close, so close, right? And now the best way to describe what happens next is anti-intimate relations because Lukas is angry. Like, do you think both of us can have just sex at this point in our relationship? Do you not know that we've gone beyond that? You get. So now they love, they care, they're wild, they're uninhibited. There's loads of Scarlett crying. He cleans himself and her up, but he doesn't sleep beside her that day. He just watches her sleep, then he leaves. Now it's a very busy schedule coming up from the end of February until May. Now, there is going to be starting with the Pac-12 that resumes the following week. Swimmer events and diver events are different. The swimmers are returning when the divers are going out of town. So they have this brief intersection at the airport. Yet it's Pen who goes to say hi to the divers, including Lukas, while asking Scarlett to watch their bags. Now, Scarlett is supposed to be the one when they have that brief intersection. She's supposed to be the one going over to tell Lukas hi, maybe even get a kiss. But she stays watching their backs while Pen goes. How wrong is that? Now, at the Pac-12, Scarlett isn't riding hard on qualifying for NCAA like at the start of her academic year. She's gotten to that place where she's just chill with enjoying herself, giving her best. But somehow, she wins gold in synchro diving with Pen. Now, for the individual event, she takes the bronze after Pen's gold. They get temporary tattoos that's supposed to be diving besties. But instead, the person that tattooed said diving beasties. Both of them qualify for the NCAA. Coach May keeps up with Scarlett and says, oh, I see you took my advice and you're doing great. Okay, I'm proud of you. That kind of thing. Now, Scarlett tests Lukas because she misses him. He now invites her to a basketball game and she finds that better than the back-to-back parties that's been happening. After every meet, these people can party, So now the Swedes mess with her because, she meets some, I think 2 Swedish people there, a girl and a guy like that. And they mess with her because Americans always assume that all Swedes in America are related. Also, Lukas has been talking a lot about her to everyone, has his super high praises. So both of them say, okay, we've been here a while, let's go back. They don't know if they're going to his place or her place. But this is them leaving when he pushes her up against the wall in a semi-private space and he now kisses her deeply. It's been 2 weeks, like 2 weeks since they saw each other. So he now tells her, I wanted to be righteously angry at you. I told myself I wouldn't be with you until we're ready to be honest. But I am just so happy to see you, Scarlett. I can't be mad at you when every time I think about you, I am reminded that you exist. You know why he's angry at her? Why are you letting Pen be a ghost in this thing we have? So it's gotten to that point that me too, I'm angry. Like, get over it, Scarlett. Do you understand? I understood initially, but it's too long. You've dragged this thing out. They both acknowledged that from the beginning. This had deeper meaning than just screwing. It's been 8 months since this arrangement started. He also admits to her, I want to do this with you every day and night for the rest of my life. He wants to confess his love, but she's not ready to hear it because in her head, what if it all fails? What if I'm just living a dream right now and this is all over? Will I be able to survive it if I go all the way? But you're already going up. Oh, Jesus. I beg. He does say it, like confess his love for her. He says it in Sweden. You know she's been learning Sweden on the Duolingo app. So she pretends that she doesn't understand, but she already gets that that's what he actually says to her. Next thing though, his phone buzzes. Pen is sobbing over the phone. So him and Scarlett, they go get her. And it has to do with taking performance enhancement drugs. That's what Pen is accused of. So Lukas is in problem-solving mode. Like, when did you get the AAF? AAF means the Notice of Adverse Analytical Finding. It's a case of anabolic steroids stuff. So it's a standard procedure that athletes take. You take lots of water, you pee in 2 test tubes. They freeze B and then they test A. In a case where A tests positive and you contest the results that no, I did not take enhancement drugs for this, they will unfreeze B and test it to see if it's negative. And now they have to get started on this contesting results now, the process, or else should be disqualified for NCAA. Now, because they care for Pen, Lukas and Scarlett, they turn into babysitters. So Pen is staying with Lukas for the meantime at his house, while Scarlett will come during the daytime to spend time with Pen at her house. Now, so sports is a huge part of the identity of an athlete, so they don't want her alone in case she starts thinking of funny things, suicide and stuff. So Pen keeps practicing, even though there are people that are now saying funny things behind her back, but she's not losing faith. So now Lukas travels for his NCAA championships. He wins naturally. So in a conversation that Scarlett has with Pen about Lukas, it's still obvious that Pen still thinks of Lukas as a 16-year-old boy wrecked by his mom's death. She doesn't think of him as someone who has grown and matured since then. Scarlett she texts Lukas a text of, congratulations, you won your last race in the US. Because she knows he's not going to be swimming after this thing again, right? So this is his last race. So she texts him. So when she sees him after he returns at Avery, her heart is bursting with love. He now tells her that they need to talk. So she tells him, yes, we'll talk as soon as Pen's stuff and NCAA is out of the way. So now, thankfully, the initial test results that made it look as though Pen was taking performance enhancement drugs, those initial test results were actually false positive. She's cleared, but that incident has already done its damage. It's messed with her head. She doesn't perform so well in the NCAA. Meanwhile, Scarlett is having the best competition of her life. When it becomes obvious she'll win the gold, the NCAA gold, she goes to a secluded corner and she's now crying tears of joy. So Lukas finds her, kisses the tears off her cheeks and smiles at her and says, I'll put you back together. So he kisses her softly on her lips. But suddenly, there's Victoria's angry voice. Victoria is one of the divers now that had the injury ankle. She's now accusing, Lukas and Scarlett. Are you both for real? Scarlett sees all her teammates and Pen. Pen is looking betrayed. Betrayed for what? Shattered for what? How dare you? I was so angry at Pen. Now, while the others are accusing Scarlett, it's Lukas who steps forward and tells them that he and Pen haven't been together in a while. The news wasn't out there because it was what Pen wanted. To be honest, that girl had her cake way too many times and ate it. I had mixed feelings about her to the end. You'll see. Lukas is now making it very clear that it ends today because Scarlett is all that matters. The other girls get the cue and leave, so it's just Pen with the couple. Scarlett knows Pen is being irrational, but at the same time, Scarlett is trying to be a considerate friend because her Pen has gone through a lot in the last weeks, right? But Pen now tosses hurtful words like, did you just want for me all along? You have my boyfriend and my gold medal. What? Are you okay? She even forbids Lukas from falling for Scarlett, but it's too late because Lukas is already deeply in love with Scarlett. And this is news to Scarlett, but he's even worshipful of her here. And she can't take it. She can't take everything crashing on her all the attention, everything happening. She's trying to leave. He blocks her. He now asks her to stay with him. And for the first time, she pulls out that word, stop. Because he told her, all you have to say if you do not want me helping you out in anything is stop. So she pulls out that word. So Lukas looks absolutely broken, but he respects this. So Scarlett leaves. The next day, without informing anyone, she purchases an expensive ticket and travels back home. She chills with Bab and her dog, talks of starting an internship with Bab's colleagues. About 5 days into coming back, her teammates all text her. They all apologize and they all consent. She doesn't reply. Coach Sima informs her that her gold medal is with him, and she should register for the Olympic trials since she qualified, and she should also start training. Now, Scarlett thankfully has already started training, for the Olympics at her high school sports where she used to train when she was in high school. As for Pen, Scarlett constructs a message to send to her. So part of the message she constructs, maybe what you said about Lukas and me bonding over sex was insulting. Maybe you shouldn't have treated Lukas and me like wind-up toys. Maybe you don't get to make us kiss and then break us apart. Maybe you cannot be the center of everyone's world. Maybe I want Lukas. Maybe I want for Lukas to be the center of my world. Do you understand? But she doesn't send this message. Later, she notices on her location tracker that Lukas is in Sweden. She now borrows money from Bab. She just packs it back because she's doing the whole grand gesture stuff. Like, this guy has been there for me through thick and thin. The way I ended things the last time wasn't great. I should go and make it up to him. You get? Because honestly, Lukas tried for her. So she's heading out, to the airport when she bumps into Pen. Pen actually traveled all the way to talk to her. So that's Pen's own grand gesture. She came all the way from their uni, took a flight just to come and apologize to Scarlett. So now they sit on swings as a pack. Now this is Pen. Pen is now telling her that I actually didn't care about Luke when I was seeing Theo. So I know that the whole trying to get back with him was out of possessiveness, not love. And Scarlett, yes, you didn't steal anything from me, but I just needed to paint someone as a villain. Before then, Carissa had already sent Pen photos of Scarlett and Lukas touring in Amsterdam. It was so clear from the pictures that Lukas was thoroughly smitten with Scarlett, and that made Pen feel jealous, possessive, like, oh, this guy did not really look at me like this when we were together, but he's looking at you like that. So she knew that it was a more than sex thing. That's why she was saying all those bitter things. It's just sex, right? After that, Theo broke up with her. Pen admits to Scarlett that when I was staying at Lucas's place now, when they were contesting results of the whole thing, that Lukas was sleeping on the couch. He was only interested in anything that had to do with Scarlett. Pen knew for years that her and Lukas were done romantically. But Lukas is a reliable somebody. Being his girlfriend was also a middle finger to her bullies. And then there was Scarlett, who Pen liked Scarlett genuinely. Seeing both of them get together just felt like a mat was being pulled out beneath Pen. Two people that she knows as reliable people, Scarlett and Lukas, get together. It just felt like, oh my God, I'm adrift. I don't have any of them with me. They're together and I'm just by myself. That's how Pen felt. So Pen just is now telling Scarlett, I really want to make it up to you. But just hearing Pen apologize like this, Scarlett's heart tore. She offers Pen a ride to the airport since Scarlett is already even going there too. Now in Sweden, it's Jan who picks Scarlett up. It's midsummer, meaning the sun is still up in the sky, and it's 10 p.m. and it's not going to go down. I want to visit Sweden to see that. So Lukas is expected to be asleep. He's normally asleep by this time, at least all, but he is awake because he checked her location and saw that she's coming to Sweden. So her grand surprise is not such a surprise. Apparently, he checks her location all the time because he likes knowing where she is. She apologizes for being a coward, not facing what they were sent. He's not mad at all. Instead, they have this tight hug. She now confesses her love for him. And quickly, this guy is shooting out quick rapid fire plans for their future. Like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go there. We're going to, like, in any future we're shooting out, both of us are not going to be separate. Whatever comes, we're doing this together. She too, she can't stay apart. She's too jealous to share. She can't even take breaks for their relationship. Nah, they're like gum for life. Now he's on top of the matter. Whoever she is, no matter the cause, he too, he can't stay away, and he has a jealous streak when it comes to her. When it came to Pen, he didn't really have a jealous streak. That was why the whole threesome thing could work. But with Scarlett, who do you want to touch? You're not touching my babe. In fact, baby, come here. They cannot even look at you funny. That's how Lukas is when it comes to Scarlett. He's like, she is mine, nobody else's. They're gonna do med school together somehow, and he already even bought tickets to the Olympic trials for both of them. Give me this boyfriend. A few years later, they're working at the same hospital. She's orthopedic while he's a neurosurgeon. They live together. But working different shifts in a demanding shift, being a resident is hell. They work in the same hospital though, but they hardly see each other. Even if they see each other brushing past the hall, it doesn't count. And then there's not this odd times when you would wake up and you find your partner in your arms, sound asleep and exhausted. At the Olympics, she actually won a silver, you get. And they already planned their wedding next year. And the thing is, they're hoping that there'll be time in their schedules for both of them to actually be present at their wedding, that none of them is going to have to send in a proxy. It's so funny. Pen does remain in their lives. Totally not weird at all, because I still find this weird. I mean, at the end, Pen's arc was redeemable, but I mentioned Pen as much times as I mentioned Scarlett in the story. And that's disturbing. She was just this Ted Wheeler, all true. And that I hated, honestly. I hated the fact she was a Ted Wheel. Not that I hated Pen herself. Do you understand? But Pen has already come to this place where she sees Lukas not as an ex or her friend, but rather as her best friend's fiance. So Lukas is no longer her best friend, but as per, oh yeah, meet my best friend's fiance. And I was like, so Lukas is like, oh okay, I'm not your friend again. So it's like, oh no, sorry, I met you, my friend, but of course, for Pen now, her friendship with Scarlett comes first. And I love that they grew to that point and maturity. So this is where our story ends. This was fun. I mean, despite the sex and the ooginess and everything, I loved this book. Despite the criticisms, I really enjoyed it personally. So what about you? This has been Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and it's been such a pleasure for you to listen to me tell it to you. Please don't forget to review this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please kindly review it. It helps so much more than you know. And you can share the link to just one person and said, hey, this is what I enjoy. Like, share it right now while you're still remembering what you enjoyed about this. Just send it, please. One person is all. Thank you so much. Bye.